I'm gonna deck your halls, bub. Okay, so we are back. It is December 2nd. Hopefully I can get... Oh, I probably won't get you this video on December 2nd because I'm recording pretty late at night here. At 11 o'clock at night. I had a crazy day. Anyway, few disclaimers real quick. These videos are completely unedited, so no matter what you hear, including my dog who was just here, is what you hear. And whatever comes out of my mouth is what comes out of my mouth. And unfiltered, so like I said, whatever comes out of my mouth. So if you have kids in the room, you probably want to ask them to leave or put your headphones on. And lastly, there are going to be spoilers, especially for the movie I'm reviewing, but sometimes I go off topic and talk about other things. But have no fear, I'll put a list of movies underneath this video, and I'll have a header that says spoilers so you can avoid spoilers for whatever movies you might not have seen or don't want spoilers for. So I am here to end the debate, if there ever was one. Well, there was one for a while. Challenge number 41, a holiday movie. Die Hard, yes, is a holiday movie. Not only is it a holiday movie, but every year I start off my holiday movie, season with Die Hard. And a lot of times Die Hard, and then I'll watch Lethal Weapon because Lethal Weapon is also a holiday movie. As much as Die Hard is, absolutely. The original Lethal Weapon. Anyway, moving on. That is the movie title is Die Hard, year release 1988, aspect ratio 2.39:1, running time 2 hours and 12 minutes, genre action thriller. Interesting that they put thriller. Okay, rated R, starring a bunch of people, more than I can fit on this little line. Obviously Bruce Willis, and the amazing Alan Rickman, the late, great Alan Rickman. Bonnie Bedelia is great in this. Reginald VelJohnson is wonderful. Paul Gleason, Deborah White, William Atherton, Alexander Goodenough. I love him in this. He's great in this. Completely different because I had only known him from The Money Pit. And that character and this character are like night and day, completely different. So Alexander Goodenough did a fantastic job in this film. And probably a bunch of other people that I'm missing. Okay, directed by John McTiernan. Produced by Joel Silver and Lawrence Gordon. Okay, written by Roderick Thorpe. His novel. I can't read my own writing. Roderick Thorpe, his novel. And the screenplay was Jeb Stewart and Stephanie D'Souza. Music by Michael Kamen. I have some other stuff to say about that later. Awards received. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, didn't win any of them. It did win, I thought this was funny, it won Japanese Academy Best Foreign Film. Well, because it's an American film, of course. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was neat. Why did you choose this particular film? Like I said, I start my Christmas movie marathon or my Christmas movie season every year with Die Hard. Unfortunately, the other day, 2 days ago, I was with friends of mine and they wanted to watch this new movie called Genie with Melissa McCarthy, and I didn't realize that it was a Christmas movie, and so, unbeknownst to me, I kind of started my Christmas movie season this year with that, but it wasn't me watching at home. I start my home Christmas movie season every year with Die Hard, which is what I started tonight. Have you seen this before? Absolutely. I own it. I love it to death. So, as you can see, featured very, very much so is the shirt. As you know, we all know from the movie, he has a sweatshirt, not a shirt. But my best friend Rachel got me this shirt. She's also my pastor. I still call her my pastor, even though she doesn't preach anymore. She still is. She's amazing, wonderful woman, and she got me this shirt. And it's a little big for me now because I've lost a lot of weight. But when she got it for me, I literally wore it once a week for months. I love this shirt, absolutely love it. And one year, to start off my Christmas movie season, her and I actually, she lives in a different state than me, so her and I got on the headphones and watched Die Hard together. Her and I see eye to eye on a lot of action films, and absolutely this one. And we both absolutely say this is a Christmas movie. Absolutely. Would you recommend this movie? Why or why not? Absolutely. It's by this time it's a classic. It's absolutely a classic. It's fantastic. If you love action films, or if you like action films, if you like fun satire, like sassy stuff, I mean, Bruce Willis on top of his amazingly on top of his game. I am not going to talk a whole lot about insider stuff. I have a few insider things to say. Yes, absolutely. Like, this movie was originally written for as a sequel to Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando from 1985. 84, 85? I think it's 85. I may be wrong on that. It may be 84. Anyway, Commando was amazing. I loved it. It was the first Schwarzenegger film I ever saw, and that's what made me want to be an actor. I was like, absolutely, that's the kind of movie I want to see. I want to make. Anyway, this movie was originally written as a sequel to that film, and that character, John Matrix, was supposed to be John McClane's character. But I had always heard that Schwarzenegger turned it down because he was committed to The Predator. But then I thought to myself, wait. Predator and Die Hard are directed by the same guy. 2 different years, and directed by the same guy, John McTiernan. I was like, it can't be. It couldn't have been that. He couldn't have. And I guess I researched it and found out, okay, no. He turned it down because he wanted to start doing comedy. Two reasons. One, he was not at all a fan of sequels. This was before Terminator 2, obviously. He was not a fan of sequels, I think simply because Conan the Destroyer did not do nearly as well as Conan the Barbarian. But I think maybe he also had some advice that sequels are generally not great. And so when he found out this was a sequel to Commando, that was one deciding factor. But the other deciding factor was that he wanted to do comedy, and he ended up committing to Twins instead this year. So that's why he skipped on Die Hard. So anyway, I'm not going to do a whole lot of insider stuff because there are hundreds of videos about insider stuff, absolutely, in all over the internet. And this is a very popular film, so a lot of people talk about it. But there are a few things that I will probably mention and talk about in this film, or in this video. A few insider things. Why did I bring that up? I don't know, but I did. Anyway, moving on. What character are you most able to identify with or connect with in what way? I hate this question. This book has been a lot of fun, and it's been a good guiding tool for these reviews. Absolutely. But I hate this question, and it's on every single one. I really wish they would change that. I don't like it. Anyway, I was watching it going, like, I don't identify with anybody. Like, the closest person that I could possibly identify in this entire movie would be Al Powell. I love him. He's a great character. Reginald VelJohnson. Wow. What an amazing performance. And the story of how he got this and for his mom and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot of insider stuff. You can find that story everywhere. The story of how and when he got this and how much it meant to him and his mom. Anyway, he did such a fantastic job in this film. But the character, Al Powell, he does what's right. And I do that. He does what he does to the best of his ability. Absolutely. That's me. And he's dependable. That's me, so that's the only character I was like, okay, I identify with that guy a little bit. I just don't like this. I don't like that question. Anyway, moving on. Best line or memorable quote. Oh my God. There are so many, including the shirt. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. And Alan Rickman delivers it fantastic. Anyway, there are hundreds probably of fantastic lines. The dialogue is written so well. The writing is so good as far as the dialogue went. Just fantastic. But of course, everybody knows, and the line that carried through is yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I mean, absolutely. I mean, everybody, even people who probably haven't even seen this probably know that. So that is the most memorable line. Anyway, were you surprised by the ending? What would you do differently? Alan Rickman sure was surprised. So not a whole lot of insider stuff, but yes, he was dropped, and they told him they were gonna drop him on 3, but they dropped him on 2 to get that look, brilliant look. So yes, Alan Rickman, I'm sure, was surprised by the ending. I was not surprised by the ending that John McClane wins. That's gonna happen. I was surprised that Carl was alive at the end. That did surprise me. And I wouldn't change a thing. The ending is just, it's fantastic. Do you celebrate the holiday featured in this film? Yes, Christmas. That's the holiday that is featured in this film. Yes, I celebrate Christmas to a degree. I'm not a huge Christmas fan for many, many reasons, but I do, to a degree, celebrate it, yes. If so, how are your own celebrations similar to or different from the portrayal in this film? I certainly don't. I certainly don't celebrate Christmas the way they do in this film. But a huge company party sounds like a great idea. Absolutely. But I'll skip the terrorist part. Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to say? I have a bunch of notes, so let's get to them. The last little thing down here, the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, was the actual 1946 parade with Edmund Gwynn as Santa. Never saw that film. Not really my kind of film. I did not see that one. So anyway, let's get into the notes because I have a lot. I could talk about this movie forever. There are certain movies I've seen, probably close to 1,000 times. This is one of them. Terminator 2, I think, maybe holds the record of how many times I've actually seen it. Because I used to watch that practically on repeat when it first came out. Anyway, I've seen this movie so many times. I could talk about every little thing, but we're trying to get through this, and I don't want to do, a 20-hour video, which I could do, simply talking about everything in this movie. So, the gun on the airplane. Holy shit! So, yes, this was made in 1988. There's a lot of things that are completely different that, we go through life now and we're like, that just would not happen. Him having a gun on the plane, even though he's a police officer, still boggles my mind. I don't think, even to this day, they would let even a police officer carry a gun on a plane. I'm assuming a police officer traveling, if he traveled with his gun, would have to check it. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm assuming. I don't fly much. I don't travel much. So that just shocked me to see that. Wow. The first hints of Michael Kamen's soundtrack is Christmassy. It's jingle bit, the jingle bells. The first hint, the first time you hear any soundtrack, you hear that, the jingling. It's absolutely a Christmas movie. The Nakatomi Building, I know I've seen the Nakatomi Building plenty of times driving around LA. It's not called the Nakatomi Building, but that building is very specific. It's on Avenue of the Stars, and you also see it in Lethal Weapon 2 when they meet Leo Getz in the hotel room, and they go out the window, like the guy comes to kill him, and they go out the window. Martin and Leo and the assassin go out the window. You see, right across the street is the Nakatomi Building. They're in that hotel room, or in that whatever, yeah, hotel, and they go out the window, and the Nakatomi building's right there. Anyway, I can't read my own writing, and I just did these. Oh, the first party scene. So when we first see the party scene, and he's making that speech. What's his name? I just watched this, and I watched this 1,000 times. Takagi makes that speech to his crew. He's on what looks like a balcony. He is like looking down on the people. It's such a strange, for an office building that tall, it's such a strange setup. It's not one floor. This is like 2 floors, maybe even 3 floors, because he's looking way down on them. It's such a strange office building setup with the fountain and the stairs, and I'm wondering if that's real. Is it real? Or they just kind of did what they wanted to do and go, it's an office building. Excuse me, it definitely doesn't look like an office building. That baby's ready to tend bar. What? Again, there are things that are so dated nowadays. You would not encourage somebody who is pregnant to drink alcohol. You just wouldn't. And so it's a shock for her to be like, that baby's ready to tend bar. What? What would I do without you, Paulina? Okay, I've talked before how I have pet peeves about films. And 2 of my absolute biggest pet peeves, one I've talked about, drinks. Drinks not being drinks or not looking like drinks. Bourbon looking like tea because it bubbles up. That's tea. That's not bourbon. Or beer looking like water. That has no foam to it. That's not beer. And people doing just a pour instead of making a mixed drink. Alcoholic drinks don't look right on most films. And that is a pet peeve of mine. Another huge pet peeve is hanging up without saying goodbye. That drives me nuts. You don't do that in real life. It rings false. Every time I see it, I'm like, that totally rings false. 100%. People don't just hang up without saying bye or talk to you later or some kind of closing. And she does that in this. What would I do without you, Paulina? And she hangs up. What? No. Say goodbye. Say, talk to you later. Bye. Something. This is Christmas music, man. Yeah. That song is on my Christmas music list. Love that song. Great. I always get frustrated. What? Oh, when John McClane first shows up in the lobby, I'm always frustrated with that scene. He shows up in the lobby. He says, I'm here to see Holly McClane. And the guy behind the counter says, just type it in the computer. He types it in the computer, blah, blah, blah. And then he says 30th floor. Oh, yeah, those are the only guys. Those are the only people left in the building. What? If they're the only people left in the building, why did you tell him to type it in the fucking computer? Why? It's so stupid. Okay, I get that what we need to... Oh, it just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. If those are the only people in the building and the guy says, I'm here to see... That the only people left in the building are on floor 30. Go up. The party. That's what you would do. You wouldn't say, type it in the computer, wait for him... And, it drives me nuts. I get that what we need to establish in that scene is... She's using Holly Gennaro instead of Holly McClane. I totally understand that. And that works and it makes sense and it sets up other things in the film. Yes. So what you need to do is take out that stupid fucking line when he says they're the only people left in the building. No. Cut that line. It's so dumb. Just tell him, oh yeah, 30th floor, take the express elevator, get off when you hear the noise. It's the party. Or, oh, the party. Something like that. Get rid of that stupid... I mean, you can't do it now, but that line is just so dumb. They're the only ones left in the building. Why didn't you tell me that when I walked in? Anyway, moving on. All the little things. I feel like this is missing in films nowadays. Not in all films nowadays, but in a lot of films nowadays, I feel like the little tiny fun things that make it seem real are missing. Are directors just not throwing that in? And I have a few notes to like, oh, this is the one of the little things. This is one of the little things that make it feel real. The first one, I feel. Well, no, the fun one is in the beginning when the girl like goes up to her boyfriend at the airport and jumps in his arms. He's like, "Fucking California." That's a fun little thing. It is. But the first one I made a note of is when he shows up at the party and he grabs the drink and he drinks it and he's like, "Ugh," and he like puts it on something. I love it. It's great. He hates the like whatever syrupy, probably disgusting drink that they made. He's like, "Ugh." And it's those little things that make it feel real, like we're at a real company party. The drinks are fucking horrible. Of course they are. It may be diluted or it may just be some like disgusting, syrupy thing that he just didn't, ugh. And those little things make it feel like a real, you're in a real circumstance. I love it. Oh my God, I love this. Okay, I've talked before about how nowadays you can't have you can't have an action hero. I think when I did Braveheart, I said you cannot have an action hero who looks like Mel Gibson did in Braveheart. You can't. He's got to be roided out. He's got to have huge muscles and like cut and like you can't do that anymore. And this is another example. 1988, even earlier than Braveheart's 95. This is 1988. Bruce Willis, in the time of like, you've got Sylvester Stallone doing Rambo and you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger doing, Terminator. And here is Bruce Willis, who is not muscular at all. And he's in a tank top and you can tell he's just a normal guy. And I love it. Here we have an action hero, just normal build, not and you just can't do that today, and it's unfortunate that producers just don't want to do that nowadays. They're like, no, he's got to be. If they did that nowadays, he would have to be like, if we're gonna put you in a tank top and you're gonna be an action star, you've got to have muscles coming out the screen, And it's unfortunate that we can't have a regular guy like John McClane as an action hero nowadays. No. Okay, I take that back. I'm sorry. I take that back. You know what? John Wick. Keanu Reeves is not, he's like Bruce Willis. He is not muscled out. So yes, I'm wrong. We have the John Wick, which I love. But what irritates the hell out of me and literally makes me want to throw up is the guy doing the TV show for Jack Reacher. And when I saw the preview for it, because I love Jack Reacher, the Tom Cruise movie was amazing. The first one, fucking amazing. And again, Tom Cruise is another one who is not roided out. Okay, so I'm wrong. But these guys, Keanu Reeves and Tom Cruise are established, have been established back in the time when we didn't need huge muscles. If you try to go into the scene now, you've got to have the physique. But people who are established don't, which is good. We need more people like that who are just normal. Anyway, what I was saying was, what was I saying? I was saying about something muscled out. I lost my train of thought. Moving on. I lost my train of thought, and that's perfectly fine. We don't want a long ass video, so move on. Great chemistry between Bruce Willis and Bonnie Bedelia. I love that little scene. It's done really, really well. I think they worked on that a lot because it's beautifully done with the argument, A revealing mistake when Hans shows up. I'm sure people know this already. When the truck shows up and Hans is in the back of the truck and they get out of the truck, the ambulance is not in the truck. You can clearly see there's no ambulance in the truck. But at the end of the movie, the ambulance comes out of the truck. Okay, we gotta just like let's forget that happened. It's a brilliant idea to have John McClane barefoot. Like, who thought of that? That's such a great idea. I love it. It's such a great idea. Let's have him barefoot and all the shit that comes along with that because he's barefoot through the whole thing. And how do we work that? I love whoever had that idea. Brilliant idea. Love it. I wouldn't have thought of that. So I love that idea. Well, as As a kid and a teenager, because I saw this movie when I was preteen, I'm sure, I think. As a kid and a teenager, I was always confused when John is like, he tries the phone and it's dead and he hangs up and he's not sure what to do, and he looks outside and he sees across the way, the building across the way, there's the lady that's like naked or practically naked in her underwear, like talking on the phone in a bedroom. And I was always like, is he next to an apartment building that's just in an office building next to an apartment? It never made sense to me. I was like, wait, that's just so confusing. I don't understand. Until I got to Hollywood and realized, I got here and realized that right next door is that big hotel. I had an interview for a job at that hotel. I didn't get it. Anyway, there's a hotel there. And it's the same hotel, like I said, from Lethal Weapon 2 that they come out of. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh my God, that's cool. I was always confused by that as a kid and a teenager. But in my 20s, when I came to LA and realized that that's a hotel room, I was like, oh, now I get it. Hans, man. Hans is so, and Alan Rickman's performance, he's such a smooth, awesome, badass, subtle badass character. He's not like in your face badass. He's definitely subtle. I mean, no wonder he's like on the list of top villains of all time. He's brilliant. And Alan Rickman's acting is amazing. This is his first American film. He did some British TV, and I think he did a British film, one or two. This is his first American film. And he was 42. Well, 41, 42. When it depends on when this film was filmed, but he would have been 41 or 42, which is how old I am. His first American film, how old I am, and that gives me, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm not done. Just because I haven't started my career yet doesn't mean I'm absolutely going to. And just because I'm 42 does not mean I'm not gonna make it. My time is not past. Alan Rickman had an amazing career. Amazing, fantastic, fucking amazing career after this. And I can too. I will too. I'm going to count to 3. There will not be a 4. That whole scene with Takagi is so brilliant. And it's so intense and not at all. I remember being shocked when he shot Takagi. I was not expecting that. Holy shit, he shot him? Whoa. Such a great, intense scene. Brilliantly acted. They're all great, including Alexander Goodenough, including who's the guy that played Theo? Clarence Gilliard Jr. I mean, all of them in that scene are fantastic. It's a very well done scene. Takagi is played by James Shigeta. Shigeta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, James, if I'm not. 9 million terrorists in the world, and I got to kill one with feet smaller than my sister. And then the lines before it, you're a policeman. There are rules for policemen. Yeah, that's what my captain keeps telling me. So here we finally get the first hints of John McClane's sassy character. His one-liner. Well, not necessarily one-liner. I mean, he's got tons of lines. Here we get a sense of John McClane's sassiness. His I want to come up with a better word, but I just can't right now. He's so his character is fucking amazing. And people, I think I wanted to say this earlier. People did not like the fact that Bruce Willis was cast in this film. They did not think that he would make a good action. They were, he was not accepted, because before this, he was a comedic actor. Absolutely. He did that show. Moonlighting. Oh my God. I hope I'm not wrong. Moonlighting, right? I never watched it. Yeah, Moonlighting. I never watched it with Sybil Shepherd, but I heard it was fantastic. But he was known for being a comedic actor, and they were like, "Wait, Bruce Willis in an action film?" They're watching the no. So anyway, I love that his personality comes like right through the fucking screen. He's amazing. He's hilarious. This is what makes John McClane John McClane. One of the things that makes John McClane John McClane. And he's just, and Bruce Willis is fantastic. I love him at it. I love him at this. Oh, the little things. Again, the little things. When John keeps passing the naked lady poster, or he passes it a couple of times, I just like, just the idea that somebody was like, I mean it's in like the maintenance quarters, so nobody, like, if you were working there, you wouldn't see it. Only the maintenance people would see it. But that somebody thought, why don't we put up... It's the little things that make it look real. Who thought to put those pictures up on the electrical panel or whatnot? And the fact that he keeps being distracted by it. It's such a great idea. Like, fantastic. No fucking shit, lady. Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza? So many lines in this movie. I love that part. That part is so great. Well, come the fuck down here and arrest me. And you know... Fine, report me. Just come the fuck down here and arrest me. Just send the police now. I love that. That's such a great line. And then he gets shot at right there. It's just a wonderfully written film. Wonderfully written film. Well done. I thought you guys just ate donuts. I haven't had... I was watching it tonight and realized I haven't had a Twinkie in years. Maybe even a decade. Like, it's been forever since I've had a Twinkie. It's not something that I gravitate towards, but I do remember, like, oh, I like Twinkies. Twinkies are cool. But I just haven't had one in ages. So it was funny to see that. Code 2. I love... Again, Reginald VelJohnson did a fantastic fucking job in this movie. No wonder he went on to have a great career, because the first film he did was like, he did such a great job. I love when his reaction when he's hearing, as he's leaving the little AM PM or whatever, and then he gets the call on the radio, investigate a code 2. You see his reaction to a code 2, very serious. He even looks at the guy at the counter that he just... And there's no way the guy behind the counter would know what a code 2 is, but he gets the severity of what a code 2 is, and was like, you see it on his face. Brilliant performance. And then he walks outside and he realizes, oh, the Nakatomi building's right there. So he walks over to see the Nakatomi building, and what do we see? 1988, gas was 77 cents a gallon. What are we at now? $6 a gallon? From 1988 to 2023? $6 a gallon now? It's insane. I'm in LA. I have to buy premium because I have 2 Harleys. So yes, I pay like $6 or $7 a gallon. And to see 77 cents a gallon. Whoa! Okay. Here's where I wrote the note about the soundtrack. I've even said this about John Williams. Absolutely. So, and John Williams is everybody knows as one of the greats. So, Michael Kamen, I'm not criticizing you and your work. Not at all. Because your work is great. Fucking brilliant. I love it. The music fits this movie perfectly. But you can hear Lethal Weapon. And when I watch Lethal Weapon and that whole series, I hear Die Hard. And even when I watch Last Action Hero, I hear Lethal Weapon and I hear Die Hard. Because they have similar movements at certain points. And this point absolutely did. When he's on the roof, that first time when he's on the roof trying to call for help, after Al Powell gets the call and goes. Anyway, Oh, no, not there. When he's on the table and he goes through multiple times. There are multiple times throughout this movie where I'm like, I hear Lethal Weapon. Like, I'm hearing... I've seen these movies so many times that I'm like, oh, I hear Lethal Weapon in there. Or when I watch... Every time I watch Last Action Hero, I always go, oh, that's... I always, like, forget that Last Action Hero is Michael Kamen. And I'm like, that sounds like... Die Hard. Let me look. Is it the same guy? Oh, yeah, it is. Or that sounds like Lethal Weapon. Is that the same guy? Oh, yeah, that is. I always forget that Last Action Hero is the same guy. And inevitably, I end up looking it up when I'm watching it. Oh, come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs. Now I know what a TV dinner feels like. You know, there are so many great lines. This movie, the dialogue is written so brilliantly. And from what I heard, when Schwarzenegger turned this down, Joel Silver was like, when they cast Bruce Willis, Joel Silver was like, we need to do a major rewrite because now we have somebody who can handle this kind of dialogue, and we've got to throw in Bruce Willis's natural comedic personality. And so I heard it was a major overhaul to rewrite the script for Bruce Willis, but it's brilliant. Like, he did such a great job. And I don't know if any of this is ad-libbed or how much might be ad-libbed, but whether it's ad-libbed or written, the dialogue is amazing, especially by John McClane and Hans Gruber. Those two, the dialogue for both of those characters is so brilliant in this entire movie. Wonderful, brilliant. The plants outside. What floor are we on? He's looking down like at least 10 floors at the police car arriving. The police car arriving. And he's in that room where Takagi was shot. And you see plants outside. Is that common? Plants outside? 10 floors up in an office building? I just think that's weird. There's no breeze. I don't see a breeze, but I mean, it could have been a still night, no problem. But how do they water those? Like, is that real? Does that really happen? I guess I've never worked in a high rise. And I don't know if that really happens. Do they have plants outside the building like that? I just thought it was weird. I always think it's weird every time I see it. I'm like, that just looks, to me, that looks weird. Okay. I love the contrast in this scene. When John is in that room and the terrorists come and he's fighting and it's loud and crazy. Everybody's shooting. Marco comes. I think it's Marco and Fritz. Fritz had the detonators, right? Yeah. So that whole scene is so like loud and shooting, and the music is way up and loud and amazing. And you contrast it with cut scenes of Powell showing up. Everything is super quiet. No soundtrack. Brilliant. No soundtrack. He comes in. He's checking the place out. I'm investigating a code 2. And the guy's behind the counter watching the game, the basketball. I think it's basketball game. And he's just looking around. And it's so quiet. It's on purpose. It's definitely done on purpose. And it's brilliantly done on purpose. Because here we are 10 floors up and John's going through all this and it's loud and crazy and shoot and bullets and blah, blah, blah. And in the lobby floor where the police, Powell shows up, the police officer shows up, it's super quiet and calm. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, there's nothing wrong here. It's wonderful. Very well done. Welcome to the party, pal. So many great lines when he throws that. So many great lines. I love that as he's being Al Powell is being shot at. The guy already fell on his car. He's being shot at. He's going backwards. He's screaming for help. I'm not tell me they're turning my car into Swiss cheese. Anyway, I love that he's going backwards, and we see Fucking Argyle is still partying in the fucking limo. It makes me laugh every time. I love that he's just partying in the limo. He's just chilling in the limo. It's probably been at least an hour or two, and he's just like having a good time. And like, the police car goes by. I love it. It's great. Oh, I love McClane's reaction to the C4. Whoa. When he sees the C4. Whoa. There's something wonderful and natural about it. It's not I hate to say bad things about people. It's not the whoa from Matrix. That just, to me, never rings true. I'm just like, oh, okay. Whoa. It never feels real to me. This, whoa, feels real to me. The way John McClane reacts to the C4. Wonderful. He did a great job. It sucks when you have that one word line. How do you make it really come across? And I don't know if I can't say whether Keanu Reeves had like 4 or 5 different takes, and one of them was probably way better than what they picked for The Matrix, but the one they picked for The Matrix was not fantastic, and I don't quite believe it. The one they picked for Die Hard with Bruce Willis, that feels real. Wonderful. Because yes, it could be in the editing. It's possible Bruce Willis did 20 of these, maybe not 20, but it's possible that Bruce Willis did like 3 or 4 of these, and they just picked the perfect one. And then, Keanu Reeves probably did, 4 or 5. It's possible he did 4 or 5 of them, and they just picked the wrong one, in my opinion. Who knows? Okay, moving on. Just another American who saw too many movies as a kid. So this first interaction, this first conversation between John and Hans is so well done. They're feeling each other out. Who are you and who are you? It's so fucking well written and well acted. These guys are amazing. Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. And they are written very well. And this just shows that the first interaction between the two, obviously, it comes up to the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker. It culminates in that. But the whole exchange between them is brilliant. It's so well done. I love it. I love it. I don't know what that says. Rambo. What did I say? Rambo. Oh, and yeah. Right after that, he's talking to Pal, and he says they have enough explosives to orbit on Schwarzenegger. I love that he pays homage to action heroes that are already established, because here he is doing his first action film, and he doesn't. I mean, you never really know whether your project is really going to take wing. You definitely don't feel when you're making a movie that it's going to be a classic, like unforgettable, spinning off a huge series film like Die Hard became. So the fact that they wrote these lines where he says, you think you're Marsha Dillon, Rambo, John Wayne. The fact that they throw Rambo in there and pay homage to Sylvester Stallone, who is already an established action hero, and pay homage to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is, at the time, one of the biggest action heroes as well. I love that they do that in this film. Bruce Willis, whoever did the writing, they put that in there. I love that they do that, because then Bruce Willis becomes, an amazing, well-established action hero because of this film. But it wasn't until this film. So I love that. Oh, I already said that. Jesus, Powell, it could be a fucking bartender for all we know. Paul Gleason did a great job. This is a smaller role, But I love to see him in this role, and it is different than The Breakfast Club. Did he do The Breakfast Club before or after? 1985. Okay, so The Breakfast Club was right before this. So these characters they have similarities. They definitely do, because they're both assholes, yes, to a degree. But I love this character. This character is really fun, and he does such a good job with it. Paul Gleason does such a good job with it. And the lines, again, wonderfully written. Again, great writing. I love when Holly comes in. I have a request. Hans says, "What idiot put you in charge? You did, when you murdered my boss." Brilliant acting, because even though she doesn't want to be there and she's scared, she's also being the big person. You know, she's not trying to show her fear, which is great. And I love his reaction to her saying, "You did." You know, it's wonderful writing. It makes a powerful woman out of Holly. I mean, she's gotten to where she is in the she sacrificed what she had to sacrifice, and almost her marriage, and she's gotten where she is in that company because she is a strong woman. She absolutely has to be. And this line and this performance by Bonnie Bedelia in this part absolutely establishes she is a strong, independent woman. Absolutely. And I love it. It's great. If you are what I think you are, you'll know when to listen, when to shut up, and when to pray. So many great lines and wonderful performances in this film. It's not just the film. It is a classic film, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why it blew up. Because everybody does such a great job, and the writing is done so well. It's not just the plot line, because the plot line is really good. It's also that just the dialogue is written so well and performed well. And that's another example of it. I love it. Oh, when the guy's going through the roses, when the tack guy is going through the roses, and he gets that is actually a mess up. I mean, again, not a whole lot of insider stuff, but a couple of things. That was a what you might call an outtake, but they were like, nope, leave it in. That's perfect. I love it. Leave it in. So that was, the actor was like, whoa, ow, and they left it in. Love it. Again, the little things. I have so many notes. I don't know how many notes I have, but here's another one. The little things. The guy eating the candy bar. I fucking love it. Like, that's so. I wouldn't think to put that in the film. When he comes and he's waiting for the guys to come. The terrorist comes. He goes behind the counter. He's waiting for the tack guys to come into the building or try to the building, and he like sees the candy below. He's like, hell, fuck it. And he grabs the candy bar. At first, I think it's a Crunch bar, and then he's eating a Mars bar. I don't know if this is just a mistake because he grabbed a Crunch bar. No, or if, no, he ate multiple. I feel like, no, he ate multiple. Fuck it. Like, who cares? A bunch of candy right in front of me? What's the guy's name? The actor's name is Al Leong. I hope I'm saying that right. I love it. It's just great. It's just great. The C4 down the elevator. Holy shit. I got to move on these notes. Let's skip some notes because we're at 48 minutes and I've got a lot of notes. Okay. I love the elevator. Such a well done and iconic scene with them throwing the fucking C4 down the elevator. It's so great. A lot of guys love you. You know, Glass, who the fuck gives a shit about Glass? Who the fuck is this? And then he's like, how you doing? You know, I'm pretty fucking unappreciated, Al. That, again, the writing is brilliant. The writing is really well done. And the acting, the writing and the acting. Wow. I love that they're building that rapport between those two characters, even though they don't know each other. They don't know each other's anything. They don't know each other's politics. They don't know each other's, life. They don't know anything about each other, and building this rapport, and they've never even met. It's such a well done character building and rapport. I must have missed 60 Minutes. What are you saying? Uh, I love that Ellis is such a sleaze. I want to say his name. Who does Ellis? Hart Bachner. Hart Bachner. I hope I'm saying that right. Hart Bachner. Such a sleaze, but he does such a great job at being that sleaze, you know? But you have to give him credit that he didn't tell Hans the truth about why John is there. He didn't say anything about his connection to Holly. You got to give him credit for that. There are so many notes. I'm sorry. I have so many notes. So I need to move through this and pick some of the notes that I really like. We're going to need some more FBI guys, I guess. That's way later. But I love the FBI is here. What, the FBI is here now? You want a breath mint? Robert Davey does such a great job in this. No small parts. He stands out for me as the FBI agent. Such a great... I've seen him in other things. He stands out in this film. He really just takes his character to heart, and I love it. He does a great job. When John McClane and Hans Gruber first meet, I love that meeting. It's great. Again, wonderful acting by these guys. Do we ever really think that John McClane thinks that he's actually Bill Clay? I don't think so, because he has that line about, I got invited to the party by mistake. I don't think he trusts him at all. He may not think, I don't know if he thinks he's Hans, but he absolutely does not trust him. And that line proves that he doesn't trust him. Only John can drive somebody that crazy. Love that line. My friends used to say that about me when I was younger because I was very sassy and matter of fact and absolutely, a friend of mine used to say, you could make a preacher cuss. Oh my God, you could make a preacher cuss. He used to tell me. This fucking wonderful scene that's almost like, wow, I can't believe this is in this movie. And I almost want to put it all together. I've said this before. I'd love to put it all together and not intercut it with other things and just see it play out. Is this scene with John McClane in that bathroom where he's pulling the glass out of his feet and he's talking to Powell. It's so wonderful. It starts off kind of funny and crazy, and then he talks about and then he gets into the kid that he shot, and it gets really serious, and then the FBI are coming. Oh, fuck. I told you what kind of guys you're dealing with. The FBI is coming. And then he says, here's a message for my wife. Tell her that John says she's sorry. And then, wait. I got to go check something out. That whole scene is so well done. I wish I could just watch that without all the inner cuts of the other stuff. Because it's so well done and so emotional. It's wonderful. I love that when the FBI cut the power, it's like exactly what they wanted. It's exactly what they needed. I have this really long note, but it boils down to when the FBI do cut the power and the safe in the building opens. First of all, why would they have, billions of dollars worth of bearer bonds in a safe in an office building? No matter how secure, I don't care. Why would you have it in an office building? That never made any sense to me. But what I want to say is there is a camera angle that I find misleading, distracting, unfortunate. I wish they would have picked a different angle or moved it. And because I'm reviewing and talking about film and I love film, I want to mention that in that montage, they've got multiple scenes cut together, multiple angles and camera angles cut together. When the safe opens, when the power's cut and the music is playing, da, 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 and the safe opens, there is an unfortunate camera angle that they use. I wish they wouldn't have, because it's confusing. It's the one on the ground where you see the drill right in front of the opening safe. I get you see the characters and they're reacting to the safe opening. I get it. But that scene is always confusing because I'm like, what? The drill is in the safe? It's just a wrong angle in my opinion. And you don't see what's in the safe. You just see the top of it opening. You're just like, that's just a bad angle. I wish you would not have either filmed one. You can have the same direction, only move the camera up so you can see inside the safe and see what they're actually looking at. And you can clearly see that the if you had that angle, you could also clearly see that the drill is on the ground and not in the safe. You know what I mean? That it's just an unfortunate angle. This is another reason why I can't give this a 5. There's just so many little things like this. It's like, anyway. Nope. I already did that. I guess that's up to the man upstairs. When John has that line, again, at the very end of that really emotional scene when he's in the bathroom pulling the glass out of his foot. Before he leaves there, he doesn't say it to Powell. He says it to himself. Hans, what were you doing up? He says, well, he goes, Powell says, oh my goodness, I just watched it. Powell says, you hang in there, man. You hang in there. After he tells him about his wife. That's right. He says, tell my wife. John says, sorry. You can tell her yourself. You just be careful in there. Hang in there, man. And he says, well, I guess that's up to the man upstairs. He's talking about God, well, it's up to him. But then that sparks the memory. Hans, what were you doing upstairs? And he says it to himself, It's such a great moving the plot to that point. Now John's going to go check upstairs and we're going to reveal that the building is, the roof is wired. It's really fucking well done. I've mentioned this before, that one of the hardest things to get right in TV and in film is an accidental find. Accidentally finding evidence that was already there. It's really hard. Or accidentally finding something that, oh, boo. It's hard to do and not make it look like, oh, well, they just had to do that. And Prisoners is one of my absolute favorite ones. And I think I've said it before. And I'll review Prisoners one of these days. Denis Villeneuve. Jake Gyllenhaal and Jack and anyway, moving on. Jake Gyllenhaal in that scene. It's a wonderful accidental find scene, like one of the best. I believe it. And this one is just this is not an accidental find, but this is we got to move the plot in a completely different direction. 180. We got to do a 180, and the way they do it is brilliant. Where he's, well, I guess that's up to the man upstairs, and then that boom, that like, what were you doing upstairs? It's brilliant. Very, very, very well done. Wonderful writing. I'm an exceptional thief, Mrs. McLean, and since I'm moving up to kidnapping, you should be more polite. Wonderful. Oh my God. Alan Rickman was just brilliant in this movie. Brilliant. Just brilliant in this movie. I love it. Okay, so this is establishing a character like John McClane, and then when it blows up and it's like a huge success and you want to do sequels, you got to keep the character the same, because most people throughout their lives don't have such a huge shift in who they are that they become a completely different person. So you've got to keep the character the same. And I'm not going to review the second film. This is much like Aliens. I'm only going to review the one Aliens, blah, blah. I'm only going to review the ones that I feel are worth it. So I'm not going to review the second one because it's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. I won't even watch A Good Day to Die Hard. It's just, is that the one? Oh my God. Is that the one that I just, oh. Oh, here I am taking way too much time. Yeah. Live Free or Die Hard is fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Probably one of my favorite. Like, I when I saw that movie, I was like, that replaces my favorite action movie of all fucking time. Okay, so I will review that one. But A Good Day to Die Hard was such a huge disappointment because the character just changed with anyway, you've got to stay true to the character. If you change the character, you got to show why you changed the character. Like the progression of Martin in Lethal Weapon, the Lethal Weapon films, was inevitable and it made sense. And they didn't just like from one movie to the other, he's completely different. They did change his hair. Okay, move on. But which bothered me at the time, but doesn't anymore. But they showed the progression of that character. They don't do that with A Good Day to Die Hard. So I will not review Good Day to Die Hard. Not my favorite one. Is my least favorite one. But unfortunately, Die Hard 2 is like my second least favorite one. I didn't like the plot. Again, the dialogue is brilliantly written. There's so many great lines in Die Hard 2, Die Harder. So many great lines, but the plot overall was like, not into this at all. Don't believe it. Not into it. Not working for me. Nope. So, but my note says, you got to stay true to the character. And I love this scene when he's fighting Carl. I'm going to fucking cook you. I'm going to fucking eat you. You know, that sassiness, but while you're fighting, that character shows up absolutely 1,000% in Die Hard with a Vengeance. When he's beating that guy at the end and he's like, you ever see Addams Family? Motherfucker on there called Lurch? You don't think I'm going to let you get to that gun, do you? They literally took the same fucking scene and did it over just a little different. You got to stay true to the character, and that's why Die Hard with a Vengeance was such a huge success. Is because they stayed true to the character, and they didn't just do the first one over again. That's the fault. I believe that is the fault with sequels. You don't want to just do the first one over again because the first one was a success. Don't do that. But you also have to stay true if your character progresses through the sequels. You've got to stay true to the character, the main character. Anyway, let's move on. Over an hour. Last page of notes. Let's do it. Last page of notes? Yeah, last page of notes. Oh, John, how did you get into this shit? I promise I will never even think about going up in a tall building again. Again, the writing is fucking fantastic. That whole rooftop scene is... Here's where I put the note. We're going to need some more FBI guys, I guess. That whole rooftop scene is so well done. And from what I heard, it almost didn't get made. Anyway, I'm not going to do insider stuff. Just brilliantly done. The emotion, the music, the cutting between the multiple people, John trying to help the hostages and then getting shot at, everything. It's just so well done. Brilliantly done. I love that scene. It's great. And he jumps off and it's just fantastic. I love that Argyle gets one. We don't want to just throw away that character. This character, no small parts. Argyle has 20 lines maybe in this movie. I mean, I didn't count them, but I'm assuming it's something like that. It is a side character. He's not like a major plot point character. He is a side character, but he is throughout the entire film. And I love that. I have a note for later. He has the last line of the film, which I love that. Fantastic. Wonderful. I love it. A side character, almost background, not quite background, but just a side character. And he gets the last line of the movie. Great. Great for him. Awesome. But also I love that they don't forget to let's let him have a little action. And I love that he gets one of the, he gets who does he get? What's the character's name? Theo. He gets Theo. I love that. I just like, yeah, good for good for Argyle. Yeah, get him. Happy trails, Hans. That whole scene, that whole end scene. Wow. The music, the tension, the acting, so well done. I love that they reveal the gun taped to his back before he pulls it. I love that they show it. Please show. Yes, show it. Absolutely. They foreshadow it because he's looking at he pulls the 2 bullets out and then he's looking at the Christmas tape. So they foreshadow it, but the fact that he shows it while they're all laughing and distracted, the fact that they show it is I love, very, very well done. I love it. I love it. I already put that note. The look on fucking Alan Rickman's face, the look on Han's face when he gets dropped, it's real and it's brilliant and it's classic. Like nowadays, that's a classic scene with him being dropped and that look on his face is just amazing. They even put it. It's so amazing. They even reuse that scene and put it in Die Hard with a Vengeance because it's amazing and iconic and wonderful. At the end of the movie, with the paper falling, I'm like, what the fuck is that? That is so stupid. Paper would not be falling for an hour. Maybe not an hour. Okay. When he drops Hans, okay, the explosion happens way before he drops Hans. And then he goes and he finds Hans, he shoots them. And so you're talking, that's probably 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. He shoots Hans. Then Hans goes out the building. Then he has to get found, come all the way down. He's got a coat on him, the fireplace. That's another at least half hour. So yeah, probably an hour after the explosion, paper is still flying around. No, not believable. Not believable at all. That always bothers the shit out of me, that paper is just flying. No. What is that supposed to represent? Is that supposed to represent the bonds? Why aren't people grabbing them? I don't even know what that's supposed to represent. Why is it snow? Because it doesn't snow in LA and it's Christmas and we kind of want snow. So they threw the paper flying around at the end is just a bad idea. I didn't like it. I don't like it. It distracts me every single time I watch this movie. And I'm just like, that's just a bad choice. I don't like it at all. I love when John and Powell Al hug. We needed that. That's brilliant. I love when Holly punches fucking Thornton or whatever. We needed that too. He's such a sleaze. That reporter's such a sleaze. We needed that. So we needed the hug between the guys because they've built this great rapport. We needed that fucking reporter being punched in the face because he's a sleaze. Absolutely. What haven't we done? We haven't furthered Powell's character. How do we do that? We let him shoot Carl. That's great. Well written. Well, we needed that too. We needed his character to progress too. I love it. It's a great way to do it. Wrap everything up at the end. Write all this quick stuff at the end. Wrap it all up. It's done very, very well. I don't feel like any of it was forced. It was really, really well done. And then what do we get? The last line of the movie. Argyle. I love that they gave it to him. If this is their idea of Christmas, I gotta be here for New Year. Why didn't they make one of the films in New Year? Like that would have been a great thing. Like this line is so great and so fun at the end of the movie. Why didn't we make one of the Die Hards New Year? Because that would have connected those two. I just thought that would have been cool. Make one of the movies in New Year. I like that. Okay, Die Hard, absolutely love it. Yes, it is a holiday movie. Starts my holiday movie season every single year. Thank you for listening. The next one I'm going to get you is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Because like I said, I'm only going to review the ones that I think are worth it. Die Hard with a Vengeance, and A Good Day. No. Live Free or Die Hard. I keep getting those two mixed up. Live Free or Die Hard. Wow. Okay, so I will get you the next 2 reviews are going to be Die Hard with a Vengeance and Live Free or Die Hard. So I will see you soon. Thank you for listening. Take care.